What do you know about Vikings? Did they wear horned hats, carry big swords, and raid and pillage anything and everything in their path on their journeys across the high seas? Part of that is part of their story.
Vikings have this symbolism, adventurers, warriors, warrior codes. I think people think about them and value those sorts of characteristics and traits.
But there's more to Viking culture than just what's portrayed in movies and on TV. Vikings were merchants, traders, and farmers too. Fernbank Museum of Natural History's newest exhibit, Vikings, Warriors of the Sea, takes a closer look at the group of people who lived from about 750 to 1050 AD.
Fernbank prides itself on exploring human culture. I mean, that's one of our pillars in our mission. And so we really enjoy hosting exhibits that highlight ancient or more modern cultures. So one of the things we really like to do is kind of dispel those myths and stereotypes and really to have people explore a society in a broader context.
Here's one myth to dispel.
The horn helmet. Vikings, you always see depictions of them with the metal helmet with the horns. There's no archaeological evidence really that the Vikings wore those helmets, yet you see them pretty much on any Viking logo you see, typically with like a football team or something like that. There is some archaeological evidence that those helmets, those types of helmets, predate the Viking heyday and the Viking age.
Through more than 140 archaeological materials and relics, visitors to Fernbank can explore Viking history. You'll see swords and axes, ships and armor, and maybe even a few unexpected items.
There are some keys. Vikings didn't invent keys, but there are keys that are found in a lot of burials from this age, and they're women burials or female burials. And when a woman would marry a man, she would be the keeper and the carrier of the keys to the homestead, to the farm, to their chests that would have their valuable items in them, and then she would ultimately be buried with those items.
What else is there to know about Vikings?
A lot of people aren't aware that the Vikings were actually the first settlers, European settlers in North America. So we think of Christopher Columbus, we think of Cortez, so we're talking, 1500s, late 1400s. So the Vikings were actually in Newfoundland, Canada, about 1000 AD. So 500 years before we see other Europeans.
And remember, Vikings didn't have standard navigational equipment. They relied on what they could see and a little bit of luck on their journeys. Vikings Warriors of the Sea is open now through January the 1st.
We also have our Fernbank After Dark, which is our adult science night, which is on November 10th, and it's got a Warriors Vikings theme. So those evenings you can come and do hands-on activities, and there's demonstrations. I think maybe we'll have some signature cocktails.
Nelson Hicks, WSB-TV.com.